we're explaining how to resolve the 431 request header fields too large error in React. This error happens when your application sends a request to a server with too many headers or headers that are too long. This often occurs when you're working with large amounts of data, especially in applications with authentication or authorization that involves many tokens, or when using many third-party libraries that add their own headers. Here's how to fix it. 1. Identify the culprit. First, you need to pinpoint what's causing the excessive headers. Use your browser's developer tools, usually accessed by pressing F12, to inspect the network requests. Look at the request headers to see which ones are unusually large. Common offenders include authentication tokens, JWTs, especially if they're long, cookies with extensive data, or numerous custom headers added by various libraries. 2. Reduce header size. If the issue stems from large authentication tokens, consider using a more compact token format or implementing token refreshing strategies. Instead of sending the entire token with every request, you can send a smaller refresh token and request a new access token when needed. This reduces the size of the headers sent with each request. 3. Compress headers. While less common, header compression techniques might be applicable, although support for them varies across servers and clients. Investigate if your backend supports header compression methods and whether your application can be adjusted to use them. 4. Limit the number of cookies. Cookies are a common cause of oversized headers. Examine the cookies your application uses and remove any unnecessary ones. You might be able to consolidate multiple cookies into fewer ones. If certain cookies are large, investigate if the data they carry could be optimized or stored elsewhere. 5. Review third-party libraries. Check if any third-party libraries you're using are adding many headers to your requests. The documentation for these libraries might provide options to reduce or customize the headers they send. Consider alternatives if the library is excessively adding headers that are not required. 6. Backend configuration. If you have access to your backend server settings, you may be able to increase the limit on the maximum header size. However, this is not recommended as a long-term solution, since it doesn't address the underlying problem of excessively large headers. It's better to focus on reducing the header size on the client side to ensure efficient communication and scalability. 7. Using a proxy. In more complex scenarios, using a reverse proxy server might help. A reverse proxy sits between your client and the backend, potentially handling header management and reducing the size of requests before they reach the backend server. This method adds another layer to your architecture, so it is often the last resort. Remember that focusing on smaller, more efficient headers is always the best practice. This not only resolves the 431 error, but also enhances the performance and scalability of your application. Carefully assess each header and streamline your request management to avoid future issues.